Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. We're here for our Thursdays 13 episode. That's right. If you love lists, and especially 13 things on a list, then this is the episode for you. Today we have the 13 money laundering schemes. Most of them are from banks. Spoiler, this is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter news podcast where we look up our stories right before the show starts. We just got caffeine in our body and we learned to read and speak live on stream. Let's get into our general news headlines and our Thursdays 13 list and spin that segue wheel. Today on Thursdays 13. EHRC's single-sex spaces guidance now in place in England, Scotland, and Wales, and everyone who is not a piece of shit is angry about it.
Greetings from the United States. It's where we're gonna. Rich people suck. The super rich people suck, and we're gonna give you 13 examples of that. But first, we got two stories about money laundering. One is about CBS News burying a story about how rich people in the Epstein files got shady banking practices. And we have another one about Capital One is being sued by Stinky the Clown for closing hundreds of his accounts in 2021.
Wow. In my next story, thank you for the fake rage, Tommy. Thank you for coming in. Armenian church leader goes on trial in a whiting confrontation with the government. What is this about?
On our Thursday 13, I alluded to rich people suck. The Epstein class sucks. And we are 1313. Thursday 13 is our list of 13 money laundering scandals that the Epstein class pulled on all of us to avoid, the laws.
Yes. In my culture news, we're going to talk about the demise of the monoculture. Woohoo! Multiculturalism is invading the UK. Why so many have never heard of the UK's record-breaking #1 single.
Ooh. Oh. And it's National Wiggle Your Toes Day. So if you've ever laundered money and you don't want to tell anybody, just wiggle your toes. We'll get the glow. It is August 6th, 2026. It's 8/6/26 on Before Coffee.
Yeah, we're just gonna 86 it today, just completely 86 it.
It's hovering.
Today's canceled. Yeah. Today's off the menu.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll our first segue wheel. As I try to fix also the Doomsday Counter, because the Doomsday Counter is now trying to offer me free Google gift cards again.
Uh-oh.
Our segue is tell a joke.
Yoke. All right.
This is not letting me refresh it. I want the Doomsday Counter to not be a giant white bar. There we go. Okay.
Just like that fly to get that away from me.
Also, hello Eric. Thank you for your another red flag acorn. Please share in chat what your red flag is, and join the bingo game because there's a lot of bingo calls already, and we haven't even started the show. This first story is coming out of the UK, in which we are going to be talking about my favorite thing to get angry about, trans rights. This is from Poppy J. St. Palmer on the Pink News. Public single-sex spaces such as toilets, changing rooms, and rape crisis centers are now organized by sex assigned at birth as of the day, which was yesterday actually, the 5th of August, in England, Scotland, and Wales. The government guidance, which was published by the Equality and Human Rights Commission in June, says that transgendered people should use either gender-neutral facilities or those that align with their sex assigned at birth as opposed to their gender identity. So, if you want to fight against this law, make all of your facilities gender-neutral. There you go. Problem solved. If you don't support this idea, make them all gender neutral. The new guidance has been met with criticism from trans rights advocates and MPs alike. In July, the Scottish Greens urged the UK to scrap this code, calling it authoritarian and cruel. Who gives a shit who's in the bathroom? Why do we care? Who's going to the bathroom? It will cause real harm to trans people who have accessed these spaces and services for years without incident, the party equality spokesperson Kate Nevins has said. Yes, it's also caused butch lesbians to get attacked in the bathroom too. Who are, if you're a transphobe and you don't like people without vaginas in the bathroom, why the hell are you attacking butch lesbians? They have vaginas. Trans people want the same thing as everyone else. To live their lives free from prejudice, discrimination, and violence. Instead, this guidance will legitimize intrusive questioning, encourage suspicion, and make everyday life less safe. Nevins told The National. Yes, Tommy was even talking about how one of his co-workers has to actually stand out, or I should say refuse to stand outside the bathroom and question everyone's genitals, because that's what the boss was telling him to do. Yeah, go stand out the... I'm going to pay you an 8-hour wage to go stand outside the bathroom. I'm sorry, a friend. I'm going to go pay you 8 hours wage so you can stand outside the bathroom and go, genitals, please. Right here in my hand. Oh, yes, I can feel that it's a pubic mound. You man to the bathroom.
What if you got the world's smallest penis?
Then you're fucked. Nevins also called the code confusing. Yeah, if you have a small penis, I guess you're a woman now. Great. Nevins also called the code confusing, divisive, and unworkable.
Like Donald Trump. Sorry, go ahead.
And it won't just affect trans people, but anyone who doesn't conform to gender stereotypes. Yeah, if I cut my hair today really short, I could be a man. That's how simple-minded these transphobes are.
I have long hair that makes me a girl. That's how it works. Did you know that George Washington was a girl because he wore a wig? Did you know that? Anyway, go ahead.
The Good Law Project, also called the New Code of Practice of Harmful, and said it will exclude and segregate trans people. The impending code of... And also, that's not even the point, right? We already know this is going to affect trans people. That's the whole point of it. They want to punish trans people. That's what the point of the law is. It's also going to affect women. The law that is supposed to be protecting women is actually going to cause harm to women. They've already done studies on this, that as soon as you start attacking trans women, trans men, questioning gender conformity, questioning what it means to be a woman, you actually start attacking your own women. And then also women get attacked in the bathroom, in wherever the hell they're not allowed to be. And then you just get a bunch of segregation of people, ostracization of people. For what reason? No reason. Really, just hate, just spreading hate. This is just spreading hate for the fun of spreading it. The impending code of practice is not legally binding, but it only strongly encourages businesses, service providers, and associations to offer single-sex service based on biological sex as per the Equality Act of 2010. It is set to have a devastating impact on trans people's lives, the Good Law Project said in a statement shared on the 15th of July. The code says the offering single-sex services only according to biological sex is likely to indirectly discriminate against trans people, the statement continued. But instead of saying that organizations can provide trans-exclusive services, like a gender-neutral bathroom, the guidance treats trans people like a third sex, suggesting they have to use separate third spaces and services, rather than the ordinary ones provided for men and women. How about men and women use a third space and everyone else who's normal uses a gender-neutral bathroom? The Good Law Project then went on to highlight the forcing trans people to use third spaces will create stigma and risks outing them. I also want to, and here, this is for the businesses out here. Did you know you save more space if you only have one bathroom instead of two bathrms? So instead of having to clear up, you can just have one. You can have a urinal in the corner, two stalls, and a sink and a mirror, and then that's it. And if you need more than that, make another one. But I don't know. It's just this is all bullshit. But we know it's bullshit because we're not idiots.
By the way, only pervs think of these laws. Only pervs think of these laws. They're the pervs. They're the ones that think about people in bathrooms. The rest of us are like, Who thinks like that? Anywhere. Only the pervs who come up with these laws. They're the only ones that think about it. They're the pervs. We're not the pervs. They're the pervs.
Who's worrying about this? I'm not.
Otherwise, they would worry about the internet and what it's doing to children, but they don't care about that.
Yeah, the last thing I want to do in a bathroom is talk to a stranger.
Yeah,
exactly.
I
don't want to.
You might have saw the video of the guy taking his daughters in the men's room. There was no men in there, right? He took his daughters in there, and they were washing their hands. He was minding his own business. He was sitting there watching his daughters. He was the only one in there with his daughter. Some guy pokes his head in the door and says, and reports him to the police. It's just some random guy. You got children in here! Blah, 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 blah. And the guy's just raising shit. And the guy, yeah, it's my daughters. They're too young to go to the bathroom by themselves. So, yeah, I took him in the bathroom. I'm their father, you piece of shit. But he didn't care.
He
just wanted to get
was also invading a woman's bathroom.
Exactly. No, it was a men's
He was breaking his... Oh, I thought it was the woman's bathroom.
It might have been a women's bathroom. It might have been a women's bathroom.
He saw a man enter the woman's bathroom, and then he, as also a man, entered the woman's bathroom. So he broke his own code of conduct. So that
I've used the women's bathroom. I've used the women's bathroom in my life probably close to 100 times, perhaps over 100 times. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. There's nobody in there except you. It says women's on it, and the men's. You're not the convenience store, right? You're in the convenience store. I give a shit. I'm using the ladies' room. Is there anybody in there? No, thank you. And you run in. You know, God dang, what's wrong with you?
I've used any bathroom when I needed to use the bathroom. Yeah, I don't care.
One of the first concerts I ever went to, the big first concerts I ever went to, was at the LA Coliseum, which was built in 1928, I believe, right? At the Rolling Stones concert and Guns N' Roses and Living Colour. Great bands, but terrible venue because you can't see the stage. But yeah, you get up to go to the bathroom, go to the men's room, and the men's room line is 80 women long. And you go inside and you get inside and there's women using the toilet because they didn't build enough ladies' rooms at that stadium when they built it in 1928, you know.
And also it's just a toilet, you know.
Yeah, you're just doing one of the most disgusting things you do all day. Who gets turned on by that? Only, like I'm saying, only the pervs who get turned on by it are the ones making the law. They're the ones that get turned on by it. The rest of us they're the ones that pay a prostitute $100 a shit in a plate. And a prostitute don't care what you do with the shit. She's gone. But whatever they're doing with that, you know, those are the guys. Them guys. They're the ones that make the law. They're the ones that are doing Tinder while they're out of town. The same
I also want to add that Almond says add a changing table inside the bathroom too. So
all airports
that's
have
a good point. Yeah.
Family bathroom, yeah. Oh, yeah, men's rooms have changing tables in very many places. Men's rooms have changing tables. Oh my God, it's changing a diaper. Call the police. You know, that kind of shit is fucking amazing to me. People get mad.
Tommy brings up another good point, which is that disabled people will probably be forced to queue out their own bathrooms because now that will become the third bathroom, right? Oh, I'm trans. I need to use a third bathroom that doesn't have any gender. Because actually, that's true. I've never seen a disabled bathroom that says only women disabled bathroom, right? You've never seen a men's only disabled bathroom.
I would willingly if I saw somebody checking genitals, I would gladly make them check my genitals. Oh, for sure I would. Come on, buddy. Hey, say I'm a girl. What do you think? I absolutely do it. Go ahead. Touch my junk. Go ahead. You can do it. I'm just saying. Nobody's going to fucking do that. They're going to punch in the face.
You've been to a Broadway theater. Eric says, I've been to a Broadway theater where they let women into the men's toilets to alleviate the women's line. Yeah. You don't even need to let. This has been a common human reaction to a full bathroom since the beginning of time, and suddenly it's a problem because some of those people might not be sharing the same genitals view as the line. They might be tricking you. It's this really weird thing about being tricked and like being lied to, and it's not personal, bro. I don't know who hurt you, but it's not personal. Yep. Trans people aren't trying to trick you to get you caught and laugh at you, you know, and go, ha ha, that person got tricked. Like, that's what I think about the people who passed all these anti-trans laws. They got bullied or something, and now they're taking it out on society. Anyways, give me a joke before we talk about this for too long. Yes. Who's
The
behind
North
it?
Carolina Republican Party is behind this, and don't forget, North Carolina for Republican Party in 2024 ran a guy for governor, or governor or senator? No, for governor, I believe, or senator, whatever, who was actively on sex porn sites, actively, like constantly, and they found his history, and it's like, yeah, he stayed in the race. Yeah, he stayed in the race, but that same party put that perv in charge, is like going to spend all of his time on his phone trying to hook up with whoever. That same party who wants these bathroom laws, they nominated that piece of shit. So yeah, they're really worried
Morality.
about you. No, they're worried about
They're really worried about the
manipulating
morality of everything. Yeah.
They're worried about dividing us. They want us to be at our throats over minor shit that never matters and never will matter. Ever. It will never matter in anyone's life, in the history of anyone's life. Gender bathrooms and non-issue. All right, the jokes. Sorry, I got jokes. All right. I got one. I just don't feel safe knowing a transgender person is in a public restroom. As if you walked into a public gas station bathroom before and thought, finally, absolute peace and safety. The scent of bleach and broken dreams truly heals my soul. Have you ever looked at a guy snoring on a toilet with his shoes off and whispered, thank God, there are strict gender boundaries that keep me secure right now? No, it doesn't matter. Just sign in the door and eat shit. Another classic example, here's another one. The idea that a predator is sitting outside a woman's room thinking, man, I'd love to go in there and commit a crime, but it says women on the door, and I'm not just a monster who breaks sign rules. Yeah. Fucking sign. Just put shit house on the door, and that's what shit house. Shit house and all of it. Takes away all the romance. No romance on the word shit house. For anyone, I hope. Anyway.
I mean,
Your idea of a
house,
romantic hookup at the bathroom, then you might be a U.S. Senator from Idaho. Sorry.
All right. And that's why I'm only doing one story, because I knew we would talk about this a long time. Next segue. Eric's red flag is using pet names on the second date. So if you ever go on a date with Eric, do not use a pet name. Do not call Eric Honeybun on the second date.
Is shit for brains is that a pet name? Shit for brains? I don't know.
I don't think.
Or is that just a term of endearment?
I don't think Eric would appreciate that as a pet name. Our next segue is now I have to tell a joke.
Jokes. We got jokes, and the wheel is still broken. U.S. Senator, I'll just one more sidebar. U.S. Senator Larry Craig of Idaho was arrested on June 11, 2007. A sitting U.S. Senator, Republican of Idaho, for lewd conduct during an undercover police vice operation in a men's room at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. He pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of disorderly conduct. He was trying to hook up with another dude in a bathroom. Yeah. They were doing that foot tap. I guess there's a foot tapping code or some shit.
And this is the guy who wants to stop trans women from going to the women's bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not. No, this is a guy from Idaho. I have no idea what his other politics are, other than being a fascist Republican, which, I know better about your life than you do, one of those Republicans, But again, he's hooking up in the bathroom with strangers. Airport, of all things. Oh my God. What are they going to do? In an airport bathroom? Oh my Lord, what is wrong with this idiot? Okay, let's do a joke. We got our stories. We got two stories, and we can kind of combine them. They're kind of about the same thing. Let's talk about Stinky the Clown first. Capital One, this was a story the other day. Capital One, this is from abcnews.com. Peter Charalambous. What a name. Peter Charalambous. I had one of those with time. Capital One says it's closed hundreds of Trump's bank accounts in 21 for anti-money laundering reasons. And its businesses for according to a recent court filing from the financial institution. Why did they do a court filing? Why are they in court? Because Trump sued them. We wouldn't even know about it except Trump sued them. Banks don't have to give you a bank account, right? And by the way, why do you have 300 bank accounts, you crook? Oh my God. What a stupid timeline we are in, my Lord. We are the dumbest, most corrupt human on the history of the world is in charge of our country. It's so sad. Capital One disclosed the money laundering for the first time in a motion to throw out Stinky's lawsuit against the bank over the closure of his business's bank accounts, which the Trump family has alleged was politically motivated and unlawful. No. Banks, no. Why are there 500 accounts for one guy? That looks like money laundering, which they should have done from day one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't give a shit. They just want your money and they want to use it. And they'll take a kickback for that money laundering. They don't care. They'll pay a fine. They're making more in the money laundering. While the bank did not accuse Stinky of money laundering, which he's obviously doing, Capital One said Trump's accounts were closed after a months-long review by the bank's anti-money laundering team, finally doing their job, not for political reasons, as alleged by Stinky and his awful, awful family. The closures were the result of months of analysis and careful review by Capital One's AML team and in accordance with bank policies and regulatory guidance. Lawyers for the bank said in a court filing on July 31st, Capital One never publicized the termination decision, nor its confidential internal process in giving rise to the closure, and it permitted plaintiffs several months to find new banking services, which they did. Once again, he did this 5 years ago. Hey, Trump, get a new bank. We're not carrying these accounts forward. They each have $100 in them.
During his actual presidency, when he did this, at the same time he passed that weird law where he can't be arrested or something.
Yeah, there is no law. That's not a thing. He's just thinking he's trying to pull. Anyway, in a statement, ABC News, a spokesperson for the Trump organization, alleged that Capital One is trying to manufacture a justification to close the manufacturer. My ass. Why do you need 300 accounts, dude? 300? I don't even need 5. I realize you're rich. That's so many accounts, and that's money laundering.
Yeah.
That's text money laundering.
I only have 3. Well, actually 4. I have a business account for my business.
He's doing it for tax reasons and to cheat. That's all he does. Capital One's after the fact attempt to just who gives a shit about fucking Trump's lawsuits? The lawsuit filed against Capital One last year and Trump's trust, his companies, and his idiot son Eric alleged that the financial institution canceled approximately 385 bank accounts associated with Trump. Yeah, you need 385 bank accounts. And what do you need them for? Go ahead. Plaintiffs has a reason to believe Capital One. Okay, here comes more propaganda from Trump. Trump similarly sued JP Morgan Chase over banking allegations. JP Morgan said Trump's lawsuit had no merit and that they closed the accounts because they posed a legal or regulatory risk for the company. The lawsuit is pending. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Donald Trump, it ain't a Capital One card. That's their ad, by the way. They're allowed to. Banks, did you know banks and credit cards could never advertise once upon a time? The same as insurance companies and lawyers, but they changed the rules. Capital One instead argues that the basis for closing the accounts was a lengthy anti-money laundering analysis review conducted by the bank. Months before closing the accounts, Capital One agreed to pay. Listen to this. Now, are we thinking that Capital One's totally innocent in this? Oh, no, we're not. We are not. We are thinking that Capital One just let this slide because they were making money on it. Months before closing the accounts, let's get this number. It has 6 zeros after it. Agreed to pay $390 million penalty to the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network for failing to implement and maintain an effective anti-money laundering program. Yeah. Give us your money. We don't care how many accounts you open. Capital One's decision to close plaintiffs' accounts only became public because of Stinky's own litigation, the motion said. U.S. District Court Judge Roy Altman, a Trump appointee, tossed Trump's lawsuit bye-bye this year because his attorneys failed to state a legal claim. There is no legal claim. You don't have a right to have 500 bank accounts, you piece of shit. There's your quick story on Trump. I still got more to say about more money laundering. It's not a joke about Trump and money laundering.
Well, I don't know about that. It seems kind of writes itself. The whole story is a joke. Like,
yeah, I know. Well, you can come up with a joke after I do another money laundering story.
Yeah, I can. I'll give you a million money laundering jokes. So let's just do it at the end. Yeah, let's go.
Right on. And speaking of banks and trying to keep their books straight, And reverse, right? Oh yeah, we were ignoring that money laundering. Oh, we weren't ignoring it. No, we weren't. Yes, we weren't. You know, they're just trying to fucking keep themselves and pay a huge fine because they're not doing what they're. You sign up to be a bank, you get a charter, right? They should just take away their charter. Why don't they do that? Right? You are no longer allowed to be a bank. That's the end. The end. That should be. People get death penalty. Why can't banks get the death penalty? They're not people. Nobody goes to a funeral for a bank. All right, let's go to the story. And NPR.org has a story, and that's why Scott Horsley, I'm going to link it. So I'm going to continue to read the connected story about 60 Minutes, killing the story that the Democrats are talking about, because 60 Minutes is run by fascists now. Thank you very much, fascists. Senate Democrats, it's from NPR.org. Scott Horsley, Senate Democrats say banks turn blind eye to suspicious move by Jeffrey Epstein. Report from Senate Democrats. Let's see. A report from Senate Democrats says big U.S. banks had concern for years about money moves made by Jeffrey Epstein, but largely kept those worries to themselves until after Epstein was arrested on sex trafficking charges by Stinky the Clown's administration in 2019, so they could kill him in prison, or kill him in jail. Sorry. They said they could take care of him in jail. That's the only reason they locked him up. Keep him quiet. The report from the Democrats on the Senate's Finance Committee, which was released by Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon. But, once again, the Republicans did not want to interview anyone for this. Wow. Says more than a dozen bankers at J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and Deutsche Bank, bad actor for a long time, were aware of suspicious transactions that Epstein made as far back as 2002. But in most cases, they said, it's a rich guy. Fuck it. I'm sorry. But in most cases, the report alleges bankers failed to alert the Treasury Department until years later after Epstein was arrested and charged with sex trafficking. The report is based on a review of Treasury reports, internal bank records, and illegal filings. Under the Bank Security Act, bankers are supposed to notify the government whenever they
Where's Wells Fargo in this?
Launder money and carry out illegal activities. Look, get me started on Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo used to hold the mortgage on our house in New Mexico. You know what they did? They opened a bunch of accounts in my name and started charging late fees to it. And one day they sent me a big ass check for like $180. It might have been more. It might have been like $500. They sent me a check and said, sorry, we opened a bunch of accounts in your name and without your permission. I'm like, really? You fucking assholes. How the hell can you do that?
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, well, Wells Fargo, just another bunch of crooks. They're all crooks. Banks, which is why we call them banksters, by the way.
They're gangsters.
Right. The banksters who needed to be asking questions didn't ask them. Jeffrey Epstein's crimes were hiding in plain sight. The report points to thousands of transactions over nearly 2 decades, totaling more than $1 billion. Some of the claims were previously reported by the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and Bloomberg. Committee Democrats want the Justice Department to investigate. Oh, yeah, the Justice Department. Oh, good. Good luck with that. Why suspicious activity reports were not filed about the Epstein in a more timely manner. Also call for tightening report requirements in the future. If federal prosecutors are serious about preventing the next Jeffrey Epstein, they must hold Wall Street accountable. Let's never confuse. Wall Street used to be separate from banks, but they got rid of the law that made that a thing. So now investment banks are owned by regular banks. So we're all screwed. Deutsche Bank responded to the report with a statement saying it regrets its historical connection to Epstein. Okay, take away their charter. The bank takes its legal obligations seriously. No, you don't. No, you don't. Stop saying things that aren't true. We have cooperated with regulatory law enforcement. Oh yeah, the reason law enforcement's involved is because you don't take it seriously. Stop saying you take it seriously. We know you don't. Bank of America denied any wrongdoing as they ignored money laundering. Here we go, another guy. They're reading off the same boilerplate, right? We take our legal and regulatory obligations seriously. And as we have previously said, the bank did not facilitate wrongdoing. Sure you didn't. We take it seriously, except we ignore the law. J.P. Morgan did not respond because, God damn it, we don't want to sound like those other two clowns. There's a quick story on that. And the connected story is from people.com as a story from Angel Saunders about 60 Minutes killing this very story, which could have been on the air months ago on TV for everybody to see. The old people eating their shredded wheat going, oh my God. Nope, they never saw it. They probably saw a feel-good section about, Charlie Kirk's dog or something, some awful shit. Anyway, People.com, Angel Sanders has the 50-minute story. Sherry Alfonsi was working on a story about Jeffrey Epstein's banking ties 2 months before she was fired, according to her new report released by Ron Wyden, who we were just talking about. Yes, Senator Ron Wyden.
Yeah, we weren't covering this up. We just fired the person looking into it,
Yep. Before Sherry Alfonsi was fired from 60 Minutes, the journalist worked on a story about Jeffrey Epstein's banking practice that's never made it to air. Oh, by golly, we can't confirm this is a real story.
Find this footage.
We don't have reporters. Yeah. Why are we firing reporters that are working on Jeffrey Epstein's story? No fucking idea, but there it is. On Tuesday, August 4th, a couple days ago, Senator Ron Wyden released a report claiming that Deutsche Bank AG failed to timely disclose to U.S. authorities more than $200 million of suspicious transactions were tied to disgraced financier and child sex offender. J.P. Morgan Chase and Bank of America were also accused of enabling Epstein at Oregon Democrats report. I like they don't say alleged sex offender anymore. Right? Well, I guess he was convicted. He was convicted. And a statement, although he got house arrest in Florida, thanks to Sham Bondi and her connections. Sham Blondie, who's probably neck deep in this stuff. In a statement, don't forget, she's the one that told us the Dow was at 50,000 instead of answering actual questions. In a statement to People, a Deutsche Bank spokesperson said the institution takes its legal... Here we go again with this bullshit. We're not going to do that tap dance anymore. We already read those statements. Wyden's report also revealed that Alfonsi, the reporter who was fired, was working with him on a segment about her relationship with Epstein. Oh, she was talking to a senator who's involved in the banking system. So there you go. Hey, let's talk to somebody who will not cover it up. So Wyden's like, what happened to that report? Let's dig into that. Yeah. Alfonsi was working with Wyden on a relationship with Epstein, banks on Wall Street, and the U.S. Virgin Islands government. Let's not forget that U.S. Virgin Islands has a representative in Congress who does not get the vote, but they get to ask questions. And Epstein was actually texting questions to the U.S. rep as they were asking witness questions. And I'm like, well, that's pretty weird. What the hell's going on here? In May, Alfonsi was fired since then neither her interview or Wyden nor her reporting on Epstein have aired. We are proud of our aggressive and extensive reporting on Epstein scandal, says CBS News. Yeah, you're full of shit. CBS News has published several exclusive original reports, investigation of Epstein scandal, including exclusive investigation in July that detailed how he negotiated a $25 million payout for himself through his global banking network. Good for you. Why did you kill this story? Why'd you kill this? Was it the big banks that made you kill it? Which one? Who made you kill the story? I bet you it was the big banks.
Mm-hmm.
We are not gonna rehash what Epstein is and what he did. Alfonsi's firing was from CBS was unrelated to her Epstein coverage and came after she spoke out against Epstein. CBS News editor-in-chief Barry Weiss has no experience in TV and no experience in news, and somehow got a job at CBS running their news. Makes perfect sense to me. After Weiss abruptly pulled out on his 60-minute segments on CCOT, no, we forgot about that. We reported on that. The El Salvador's torture prison, where Venezuela men were deported by Stinky and his administration. That's your People magazine story on what the fuck is going on with banks covering for Jeffrey Epstein. Knock it off.
He's not going to help you anymore.
Well, they just were covering up for him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Capital One closes 385 accounts for Trump. That's your story. Let's have another joke. And soundboard out. Hope you got a joke.
I was arrested for washing my pants without taking the cash out of my pockets. They charged me with laundering money. Like easy joke. Easy joke. What? Oh yeah, money laundering. Oh, I got sent to the AFK channel again. Why does it keep doing that to me randomly? Let me go back. So weird. I'll literally be talking on Discord, and it'll be like, "You're AFK now." It's so weird that it does that.
I don't know when you dropped off, but you dropped off for a minute.
I noticed it instantly because you disappeared. That's when I know it happens.
I hate
Money
talking
laundering! If it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it's Donald.
Ha ha! Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh, this is a long joke. Let's not do that one. Wow, yeah, all the jokes are just like, oh, I washed money in my pants. Almost all of the jokes.
Same joke. That's not even that clever, right?
Woohoo!
I'm pretty sure my local corner shop is money laundering front. I've been there 1,000 times and not once have I seen a corner for sale. That's just a bad joke. That's just a bad joke.
Yeah. My thing is, I go through small towns and I will identify, right? You know what I mean? Money laundering.
Yeah.
They're front. Usually front for like a gambling operation or a drug dealing operation, right? Right. You sell something, but you go in the store and it's like, there's nothing on the shelves. You know? It's like, yeah, this is very suspicious. Yeah. Let's have a spin.
Very weird. Very, very weird indeed.
Yeah, cash only. Small restaurants, family-owned restaurants in small towns. I'm always suspicious of those.
I blame the Godfather for that.
Fronts for the mob in a lot of places. You know, it doesn't matter what mob it is. It can be an Italian restaurant or whatever restaurant. I'm not picking on any ethnicity. If there's a small town in your restaurant.
Another day and another limerick. One day I'll roll a limerick, but I swear, it just always chooses you.
Limerick? Damn it, I gotta do something. Damn.
Yep, sorry. This next story is coming out of Armenia, and it's about a priest who's suing the government for probably religious freedoms or something. We'll talk about it. But just make a religion limerick. I'm sure it'll probably fit in or not. It's from Lucy Papachristou on Reuters. The head of the Apostolic Church in Armenia, widely regarded as the world's first Christian nation, and 6 other senior clerics will go on trial on Friday, which will be the 7th of August, in the latest escalation of a bitter struggle with the government of Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan. Catholics Karikin II. Oh, also, congratulations, Tommy, on your bingo. I forgot about that. Congratulations, Tommy. We got 2 bingos today already. We barely even started the show. Catholiocus Karikin II, who has led the church since 1999, is accused alongside with other defendants of failing to comply with a civil court order temporarily reinstating a bishop with whom the church had defrocked. They face up to 2 years in prison if convicted. The case is the most significant legal challenge yet to the leadership of the Apostolic Church, a powerful institution in Armenia that traces the country's adoption of Christianity to 301 AD. Thank you, Almond, for getting your 2nd bingo. What are you going to do with all these bingo winnings? Please share in chat what you're going to do with it all. It comes amid deepening tensions between church and state over Pashinyan's leadership and his handling of peace talks with the Azerbaijan after a series of wars dating back to the 1980s. Pashinyan, re-elected in June, has won strong backing from the European Union as he tries to steer Armenia closer to the West and away from Russia's orbit. So he could probably get away with anything as long as he joins the EU. Of course, he has to actually be fit to join the EU. But opposition politicians, church leaders, and civil society groups say the prosecution of the Catholicos is politically motivated and part of a wider crackdown on government critics. Anna Melekian, a lawyer at Protection of Rights Without Borders, an Armenian nonprofit group, said the case violated the constitutional independence of the Apostolic Church. This is a clear interference of executive power in church affairs, she said. There are a lot of concerns about the independence of the judiciary in Armenia. And with certain politically sensitive cases, including cases against the church or clergy, these concerns become very strong. Pashinyan's office and the prosecutor's office did not respond for requests for comment. Pashinyan has repeatedly called for Karakin's resignation and accused the Apostolic Church without presenting evidence of acting as proxy for foreign powers, namely Russia. The church denies that. The Apostolic Church, which is distinct from both the Orthodox and the Catholic churches, counts millions of followers in Armenia and around the world. Church officials say the arrest of several clergymen in recent years has been politically motivated. Well, it is possible that you're using religion as a front to pro-Russian things, right? It's not unheard of, but I don't know what proof they actually have. I wasn't in this court case. The trial stems from the case of Gevorg Staroyan, a bishop who was defrocked after the church accused him of abusing his authority and neglecting his duties. Saroyan had publicly called for Karakin's resignation and aligned himself with the Pashinyan. Okay, so they're thinking this is internal church politics in which they drew a line where they were against Pashinyan, and this guy said, I'm not against him actually. So they said, well, you're defrocked then. You're no longer in the church. Get out of here. 2 years ago, another prominent cleric, Bagrat Galastanyan, who is now under house arrest and awaiting trial, led street protests against Pashinyan over territory concessions made to Azerbaijan. The Catholics themselves has echoed calls for Prime Minister to step down. Well, I don't know what Armenia's laws are on separation of church and state, but if they have anything about that, they're definitely not doing it right. Pashinyan started viewing the church as a political threat, as an institution that could support the opposition and different political parties to come to power. Said, I mean, that's been true in other countries, right? I'm a Christian. All right, all the Christians should vote for me. I have the political power of Christians now because I said I'm a Christian. As an institution that Pashinyan started viewing the church as a political threat, as an institution to support the opposition and different political parties to come to power, said Tigran Grigoryan, director of the Regional Center for Democracy and Security think tank in Yerevan. Grigoryan said the case against the clerics fit into a broader pattern of selective justice pursued by Pashinyan's government, which had seen leading opposition figures detained and some of their assets seized by the state. And yet again, it's always suspicious when you start arresting your opposition. One prominent archbishop was given 2 years in prison in October after calling for regime change in the media interview, while several other priests are awaiting trial on similar charges. So let us know whose side you're on in this state versus religion debate. Is this breaking their freedom of speech? Do they even have the freedom of speech in Armenia? I don't know. This is reported by Lucy Papachristou, edited by Mark Chevelyan and Ross Russell on Reuters, yet again. You have a limerick about religion, church, and politics.
Yes, and I just barely finished it.
I don't think it goes on anyone's side here.
I don't know. Yeah, all religions to me are they're just trying to control you. They're just trying to make sure that they don't have to, whatever. And they want your money. Don't forget that. Don't pay taxes. Don't forget that either. All right. My religion is the only one, My religion has the only one true deity, not like that fake being which you pay fealty, let's do this again, to which you pay fealty. I do it proper English. One more time. My religion is the only one my religion has the only one true deity, not like that fake being to which you pay fealty. Yes, this is a church. And if you've done your research, you will find that their contradictory positions are unwieldy. In other words, you're full of shit. You got rules, and rules for everybody else, just like every oligarchy. Bottom to the top is not leadership. Top to bottom is not leadership. We need bottom up leadership.
You fool!
Right?
Yeah.
People at the bottom actually knows what's going on. People at the top wish they knew what was going on. So they try to make things happen.
Yes, we need the bottoms to lead. We must be led by the bottoms.
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, next segue for your Thursday 13 list.
Oh boy. Thursday 13, I didn't have time to get a video ready for you because of the limericks.
Oh, you still have my culture news.
Yeah.
Sarcasm.
All right. Sarcasm would be good. Yeah, because this is a problem that is not being solved, and I doubt it ever will be, because we seem to think banks are something special. They're not something special, other than the fact they can break laws and get away with it. And when I say get away with it, they pay a fine. But if you're making, $5 billion from laundering money, why would $100 million fine hurt you? It won't. This is today's Thursday 13, and we're going to talk about the money launderers, the top 13, not in any specific order, just the order they were researched for me by AI. Because, we use it for that kind of thing. And again, we don't necessarily, I use AI, but I don't necessarily use their results because I got to look at their results.
Trust them,
Wait a minute.
That's not even a country.
That's one I did investigate. So 13 money laundering scandals we're talking with. Number one is the Danske Bank, which was laundering, or at least where the figures are approximate, of course, because, hey, they never report this shit. They just launder the money and get on with their business. This is 200 billion euros, Denmark's largest bank. We're going to get to the details. Funneled over 200 billion in suspicious non-resident funds, primarily from Russia. Estonian branch, through its Estonian branch, between 2007 and 2015. Yeah, international banks can do stuff in countries that have no banking regulations and no regulators, or if they do have regulators, they just take bribes. So, yeah. I'm sure Estonia, not the richest country in the world, I'm sure there's bribes to be had. So there's your first one, 200 billion euros, which is a lot of damn money. All of these are a lot of damn money.
Mm-hmm.
This should make you mad. This should just make you mad. Rich people can do whatever the fuck they want and get away with it. Oh, I run a bank! Why these banks weren't shut down and have their charter taken away, beyond me. Wachovia Bank, number 2, to the tune of 390 billion. Yeah, hiding that money, which again was nefariously earned for sure. Between 2004 and 2007, Wachovia processed hundreds of billions of dollars in currency exchange for Mexican drug cartels due to lax anti-money laundering controls. Yeah, that would be Mexico having lax money. Actually, the United States isn't lax. We just pretend we have rules, right? Let's use Capital One for an example. Wow, Trump has 385 bank accounts. He's had them for 100 years. Let's close them now. Why? We're about to get investigated. Banks are up to no good. So that's Wachovia Bank. It, I think, still exists, and it shouldn't exist. Number 3, here's another one. It's not exactly a bank per se. The Russian laundromat, which laundered $20 billion to $80 billion. A vast financial network that used fictitious loans, corrupt Moldovan judges. Let's talk about these countries that have no real authority to do anything, and shell companies to move illicit capital out of Russia into Western banks. Of course, we're only talking to the ones that got caught here. Just imagine the ones that are going on right now. We don't have any idea, right? Just the ones that got caught. Number 4, this one's called I guess we're going to call it the Malaysia MBD. I guess that's what we're calling it. High-ranking officials looted Malaysia's state investment fund. Now we got, of course, you got to have politicians, right, that cooperate. Investment fund laundering billions of dollars through luxury real estate. Luxury real estate. There you go. That's why it's overpriced. The only reason shit is overpriced because all this money laundering. Think of it that way. Fine art and Hollywood film financing. Great way to hide money, right? Blow it all in a big ass terrible movie that nobody goes to see. That's why I lost all that money. I don't have it anymore. Yeah, money laundering. Number 5, HSBC, another bank. HSBC, I believe, still exists, admitted to under-resourcing its compliance department, allowing Mexican and Colombian drug cartels to wash funds directly through U.S. teller windows. And they paid a fine, $881 million. They laundered for the drug cartels, probably a lot more, right? What we know of, nearly $1 billion. Number 6 is BCCI. BCCI, nominally known as, let's do it, Bank of Credit and Commerce International, although they have now been dubbed Bank of Crooks and Criminals International. Yeah, BCCI operated a complex global web of offshore entities servicing dictators, cartels, and arms dealers before being shut down in 1991. That's where they're gone. End of them. Number 7 was that leak. For some reason, the leak has gone away. Like 10 years ago, do you remember the Panama Papers? Does anybody remember the Panama Papers?
I
The
remember
Panama
'em.
Papers! Biggest news in the world for like 5 minutes 10 years ago, but it was the biggest news in the world. For some reason, it got buried. Why is it? Oh, that's right. Rich people control the news media. I keep forgetting that. Well, that's why we stopped hearing about it, but it didn't stop being a thing just because we didn't hear about it. A leak of over 1.5 million records from the law firm Mossack Fonseca. Don't forget, a hacker had to get this shit and expose it. Exposed how world leaders, politicians, and billionaires use thousands of offshore shell companies to hide wealth. Yep. Yep, that's all rich people do. They collect money and find ways to keep it. So the Panama Paper, the thing that got buried by the news media. Let's do the rest of it. TD Bank, number 8 is TD Bank. I don't know if it's Touchdown Bank or, hold on a second. TD Bank. They had a $3 billion settlement. We don't know how much money they laundered, but let's see. U.S. regulators fined TD Bank in 2024 after finding systematic failures that it enabled international drug syndicates to launder hundreds of millions of dollars to its branches. What a shock. Oh, regulations! Ah, that's a bad thing. This is why we have banking regulations, folks. Stop being anti-regulation. That's a rich person's position. If you're anti-regulation and you're not rich, you're a sucker. You're just a sucker, just waiting to get conned. Number 9, Liberty Reserve. Laundered $6 billion. That's a lot of damn money, just in case you're wondering. Before cryptocurrency dominated the web, this digital currency platform processed over $6 billion in funds operating without customer identification verification until law enforcement seized it in 2013. So Liberty Reserve does not exist. They were shut down, but that didn't stop them from laundering money for criminals. So we don't know if these criminals were ever caught or punished or anything. Yay! Hiding money! Number 10, the FIFA. Oh my God, we finally got to the biggest scandal in the world. FIFA and their bribery. The soccer executive laundered decades worth of bribes and kickbacks for World Cup hosting rights and media deals. Why did I call this the biggest scandal in the world? Because they make us watch this shit on TV and it's really boring. I'm just saying. You tell me soccer is exciting. You probably get excited about almost getting a paycheck too. I don't know. I'm just saying. Sorry about football fans, but I'll just say, you cannot make me sit there for 3 hours and watch that. Not a chance. I'll watch the highlights. I'll watch the goals being scored. They're exciting. I will give you that. The riots are really exciting. Number 11 is the FinCEN files. F-I-N and then capital C-E-N. This was in 2020. Leaked suspicious activity revealed that major global banks knowingly, again, this is all knowingly. They're not pretending that they didn't know. They're just saying, we don't even hire people to do this job. Knowingly allowed trillions of dollars. Of course, trillion is a 1 followed by 12 zeros of dollars in dirty money to flow through their systems over 2 decades. The FinCEN files. Major global banks. Again, global banks. Nobody's innocent out there. You're all crooks. Banks are crooks. That's who they are. Don't forget, you buy a car, you get a loan from the bank, you got 5 years of payments. You make 59 payments and miss the last payment, and they come and take your car, even though you basically own the car except for the last payment. That's how banks work. They take your car, sell it, and get the profits, all of it. They don't give any of it to you. You got no equity in that car whatsoever. They just take it back from you. Yeah, banks are crooks. That's who they are. Banks are crooks. Banks are crooks. We just want to normalize saying that. Banks are crooks. A bank will charge you $3 to take out your own money. They're crooks. The small Pacific Island nation of Nauru is the subject of our next one, the Nauru offshore banking scandal. The small Pacific Island nation allowed individuals to establish shell banks with zero physical presence. Oh my God. Russian criminal syndicates to launder an estimated $70 billion through the island in 1998 alone. $70 billion in 1 year. Yeah. Wow. If there's a will, there's a way. Don't forget it. If there's a way to bribe people, we will find it. Number 13 to find a one, and definitely not the only one. There's probably hundreds of them we don't even cover here. The Standard Chartered Bank. This is from UK. This is a UK bank, the Standard Chartered Bank. Sounds like a British name, don't it? Regulators
The Standard is a newspaper, so...
Yeah, Standard is also an oil company. Standard was
Is
the
it?
oil company. It was an oil company started by John D. Rockefeller that became Amoco, and oil companies already merged. Regulators repeatedly fined the UK-based bank Standard Chartered Bank for stripping transaction data and obfuscating sender details to bypass U.S. sanctions and anti-money laundering checks. Anti-money laundering checks. I'm not the checks you're right. The checks.
Money laundering.
Yeah. So there's your 13 checks. Your 13.
Don't trust any of these banks or any banks.
Most nefarious, because there are many more of them. I could probably do 1,000 of these. Biggest money laundering. We hope they're the biggest. Hopefully there's nothing bigger than these assholes. But there's your story. Yeah. Let's have us a... Sarcasm.
Wait! Those people that we just trust to give us all our money that invest into random things are also just money laundering? I can't believe it. What do you mean giving my money away to rich people isn't a good idea?
If you really want to be mad about this, go look up the numerous videos. Oh, there's dozens of videos out there about a black person trying to cash a check at a bank. And they call the cops on them. You're not this person on this ID, even though you look like the person on this ID, but you're trying to deposit $30,000. You're a criminal. I'm calling the cops because you're black. This happens all the time. And you'll find videos on that. They call the cops. Oh, you can't possibly have $30,000. You're black.
Yeah, we made sure we had all those infrastructural segregations to make sure you couldn't have that much money.
The only banking regulation they ever enforce is that one. Oh, white guy depositing $30,000. Come on in. White guy with $30,000. You're all on the up and up. Yeah, right. You never see that. You never.
All right, let's get some more sarcasm for my culture news. That will be easy for you to find a video for.
What do we get?
Sarcasm, your natural state of being.
Sarcasm again. Okay,
I got sarcasm just now.
Okay, you already gave me.
You're permanently sarcasm. Yep.
I didn't say anything. I can get the soundboard here. Hold on. Yay! I'm behind. Sorry.
It's from The Guardian by Nadia Komami, arts and culture correspondent. Sam Fender and Olivia Dean's Rein Me In is the longest running #1 single in the UK chart history, and yet it seems to have passed many people by. It's the biggest song in the UK, but have you heard it? Well, no, because I don't listen to the radio and I'm not in the UK. That was the question many were asking this week after Sam Fender and Olivia Dean's Rain Me In became the longest running #1 single in UK chart history, spending unprecedented 19 weeks at the top. The British phonographic industry said the song had resonated with listeners in such a profound way, while Fender thanked Dean and fans for making the song the juggernaut that it is. Yet the record prompted a wave of bafflement online from people who claimed they had never known they heard it. Crazy how multiculture no longer exists because I don't think I've actually heard this song, wrote one racist user on Twitter, which we're not surprised by. The disconnect has reignited a broader debate about whether Britain's music charts still reflect a shared national culture. It never has, because Scottish and Welsh and English people don't have a shared culture, please. Only English people think like this. We're all the same here in England and Scotland and Wales. Yes, we're British, right? Scotland and Wales go, these guys don't know the hell they're talking about. And that, Tommy, counts as me mentioning my bachelor's degree in a story. How can a record dominate the charts for nearly 5 months and win a Song of the Year at the Brits, while leaving large sections of the public feeling as though it's passed them by? They're old, they don't go on the internet, they don't stream music, they don't buy records, they don't listen to radio, there's all those reasons. Only living under a rock when the Beatles or Elvis Presley had a #1 single could have avoided knowing about it. The answer, according to the industry experts, is dominance no longer means ubiquity. No, you have to buy a new card if you have to want another bingo. In the era of tops of the pops, Radio 1 and smash hits, the weekly charts were a shared cultural event, said Chris Anderton, Associate Professor in Cultural Economy at the Southampton Solent University. Streaming has replaced that with endless choice and algorithmic recommendation, he said. Exactly. If you listen to metal music, you're probably going to keep on getting suggested metal music, not the top #1 single in the UK charts. That's just not going to happen. And even worse, they'll actually even restrict your algorithm to the area you live. So if I were to listen to the top hits on the chart right now, I'd get a bunch of Dutch songs because I'm the Netherlands. I wouldn't be able to ever hear this song because I don't live in the UK. Producing what author Ellie Passier calls the filter bubble, where listeners are repeatedly served music similar to what they already like. It's the same mechanism, Anderson noted, that isolates social media users from opposing viewpoints. Tastes like opinion have become modified and automated. The record for the longest spell at #1 was previously held by Frankie Lane, whose I Believe spent 18 weeks at the top in 1953, when the UK singles chart was less than a year old and featured just 12 songs. So the last time this ever happened is when they invented the UK singles chart. More recent contenders, including Bryan Adams' Everything I Do It For You, Wet, 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 Love Is All Around, Drake's One Dance, and Ed Sheeran's Shape of You all fell short of breaking the record. Rain Me In was written by Fender for his album People Watching before being re-recorded as a duet and released in 2005 in June. So it's been a year since it came out. It took 36 weeks to reach #1 and has held a top spot on and off since February, seeing off brief challenges from Harry Styles, Olivia Rodrigo, Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, and it outlasted the accelerated decline rules introduced by official charts company in 2017, specifically to stop streaming hits lingering indefinitely. The mechanics of #1 singles have changed too. Chart position once meant physical sales. Today it blends sales with stream equivalents from Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. Maybe it has a really good music video. So 100 premium streams, 600 ad-funded ones equal 1 sale. But the fragmentation runs deeper than streaming mass, said music and cultural critics Nicholas Tyrell Scott. Young listeners now discover music through TikTok, YouTube, and personalized algorithms, meaning it's not as easy as saying a track is #1, therefore it's resonant and dominating in everyone's sphere of influence. And let's be honest real quick here too. Viola has always existed, okay? If I pay a radio station £1 million to play a track for the next month, that's also not reflecting the resonating and dominating sphere of influence of music. That's me telling you this song is a #1 song and you better like it because you're going to be hearing it for the next month because I paid this radio station to play it for the whole month. So, but we're not going to get it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Also, hello, Nico. But the fragmentation runs deeper than streaming maths. Wait, I already did that part. Gen Z spends just 16% of their average audio day on the radio, Scott noted, against 42% of streaming and 20% on YouTube. Really? I thought it'd be the other way around. And platform algorithms actively reinforce those microcultures. It's easy to see why a song like this could pass clusters of people by despite dominating commercially, he said. Analyst James Masterson put it starkly. That's funny. His name is Masterson. A single can break records, yet it still struggles with any kind of cultural cut through. Unlike past mega hits, Masterton argued that one has no film or event attached to it. It isn't from a movie soundtrack or connect with any national event. It just exists on the charts constantly. Weekly chart consumption has grown from around 20 million streams at the start of the decade to more than 30 million now, Masterton said, but most number ones, it's Masterton. But most number ones this year have clustered around 60,000 of those streams. So 30 million people are streaming music, but only 60,000 of those are making number ones. Proof that while the audience has grown, the biggest hits command a much smaller slice of attention than they once did. Television exposure barely moves the needle either. This year's Brits Award produced no lasting bump for the acts it celebrated, while radio itself had splintered into narrowly targeted playlists. This is merely one symptom of what sociologists are noting as the demise of the monoculture. Yes! Fuck the monoculture! He said. I said that. He didn't say that. With such a vast range of entertainment options available, few creations or productions really need appeal to a large cross-section of the public, but just as well given how vanishingly few actually do. Yes, celebrate that African music, that Caribbean music, that US music, that Mexican music. You don't just have to listen to whatever British people are making for you. Not everyone is convinced the disconnect is genuine, however. Some online commentators have suggested that claiming never to have heard a massive song says more about performing detachment than actual unfamiliarity. Do you even listen to music? I've never heard this song. Do you listen to music regularly? No. Okay, well then, how could you have heard it? Anderton offered a caveat. Songs such as Padam Padam. Well, Padam Padam was a really big gay hit. So that's going to have a lot of... And so was Brat. Summer was a good woman hit. It was a woman hit. So it broke down into specific demographics. Broke through because the escaping stream and became wider cultural phenomenon for a select group of people across television, social media, news coverage, and memes. The ubiquitous hit is not dead, he said. It just requires much more than chart success. It requires you to latch on to a demographic of people, and then those people say, I love this song! That's why Lady Gaga is so popular. Because the gays love her. And the girlies. The gays and girlies. But there is my culture story on our, the death of the monoculture, which this one Twitter user is seeing as the end of the fucking world, I guess. Good. Fuck monoculture. Tired of it. Really am. You're not British. You don't do this and like this song. Good. Because I'm a human being. That's what I am. I'm not. Does that designate as my ethnicity forever?
Yeah, it's just music, man.
Explore some stuff. Yeah. Anyways, I'm ready for your sarcasm.
My sarcasm is that last time I listened to the radio, I think the big hit song was that song by, what's his name? What was it called? Blurred Lines. That might have been the top 40 hit at the time. What year was that? 2010? That's my sarcasm. I really have the
maybe 2012. Yeah.
Yeah. All the music I listen to is just stuff I already know. I mean, I like folk music, so you don't hear that on the radio ever. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good point too that he doesn't mention. There's plenty of older people who are listening the same music they've always listened to when they were a teen. I mean, that's what some musicologists even say. A lot of musicologists say that you create your music taste when you're a teenager, and you usually don't diverge from that. The common person is going to stick to that.
I do not want to hear mixes, remixes. I don't want to hear overdub. I don't hear any of that stuff. I just want to hear music, honest music, right? My age, folk music is all I listen to. And for new music is all I listen to is folk music. Is all other stuff. It's just, to me, you're covering for the fact you have nothing to say. And so I just, they might have something to say, but it's really lost in all the, the glitz and glamour of the noise in the background. It is not necessary to get your point across. It might make you dance, but it's not really necessarily something I want to listen to on the radio. Radio music and dancing music are not the same. I guess it's sort of sarcasm.
No, you're right. You're right. Because dancing music is to dance to. There's a totally different.
Bought a record because I could dance to it. Let's put it that way. I never bought a record because it's a dance to it. I mean, I bought a record because I liked the record, not because I could dance to it.
In the old days when we had physical media, or we still have it, but it was more common. A lot of people would buy records so they could read the lyrics, right, in the album.
Yeah,
right, the lyric book and stuff.
You hope that they went to the trouble of actually putting the lyrics. It's really disappointing when they don't, because then you got to make up your own lyrics. What's he saying?
I mean, people want to give BTS bullshit, but I bought one of their newest album, and what did I get? I got a lyric book that not only gave me the lyrics, right, which I still had to translate from Korean, but that's a different story. They also say who helped make the song, right? It was written by these people, it was produced by these people, the music track was, it gave me the credits of every song, Well, my dad wasn't there, Nico. My dad wasn't there for the stream where I listened to the album. Okay, so I'm telling you. That's just an example, okay?
Right.
No, I don't think my dad watches any of my streams.
Yeah, the words. A lot of times, the words ruin the song. Sometimes you're like, is that what that song's about? Anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's true, because sometimes you'll be like, I thought they were saying, I love blueberry cake, and it's like they didn't say that. They weren't saying that the whole time. They were saying something totally different.
It does really bother me when they get the lyrics wrong, even one word, right? For some reason, it's one of those things that it's definitely my issue. But it's like, for instance, the Rolling Stones official lyric video for "Paint It Black," they get the words wrong. I mean, they are not the one that transcribed it and made the video.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely a problem.
At the very end of the song, he says, at the very end of the song, "Paint It Black," Mick Jagger says, "I want to see the sun blotted out from the sky." Those are his exact words. There's no doubt that's what he's saying. But on the lyric video, it says, "I want to see the sun flying high in the sky." Well, he definitely doesn't say that. Why is that in the lyric video? And that's the official lyric video for the Rolling Stones. Maybe that's the lyrics they wrote, but they never recorded them. I don't know. But
yeah,
anyway,
maybe that's what happens. Yeah, and there are people who there's also people who refuse to believe those are their official lyrics, right? They'll be like, I swear he said Tupac in the lyrics. He said Tupac. He didn't say Tupac or whatever. He's talking about Tupac in that song. And you can't change my mind.
My favorite internet argument. I had to give up on this internet argument, but it's an oldie and a goodie. The song "Bob O'Reilly" by The Who. The beginning of the song starts out here.
Oh, it did it again. Why do you keep doing this to me?
Feels I fight for my meals, and when Pete Townsend sings it, he sings I fight for my meal, right?
Yeah.
But when Roger Daltrey sings it, he says I farm for my meals, which makes more sense because, right, you're out in a field.
Here in the field, I farm for my
field.
Yeah.
Right, I farm for my meals. I don't have to fight to prove I'm right is the very next line. For one line, you're saying you're fighting, and then you're saying you don't have to fight. Which one is it? So farm for my meals makes more sense. Roger Daltrey gets it right, and the guy who wrote the song gets it wrong. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, that's my opinion.
Maybe it's just how you feel too, as a singer. As a singer, sometimes you just I feel like I fight for my meals out there on that farm. I'm fighting the weather. I'm fighting the animals. I'm fighting the wheat. You know, maybe that's what they feel like.
My argument goes like this: I know Pete Townsend wrote that, right? But I also know that Roger Daltrey changed it. And you can listen to the song. You tell me he says farm. He says farm, and if you read his lips in the video, he says farm. So anyway, that's one little side part in that. It does actually get under my skin when people say he's obviously saying to fight. I said, how is it obvious? It's contradictory for the next sentence. He says you don't have to fight for what right. So why is he fighting for his meals? Isn't that the same thing?
Thank you, Onlin, for getting another bingo. I wonder if I could. I wish I could review these cards. Nico,
I guarantee the cards are filled up.
Won a bingo. Everyone's. We got so. I can't believe I haven't gotten a bingo.
We are almost done.
Close, but I can't. Yes, I said you. I said you too, Nico. I have to read. I read from the bottom and go up. So sometimes I get to your chat last instead of first. Mm-hmm. All right, you sent me the video. I got the video. I downloaded the video. Let's roll our next segue. Mm-hmm. If you want a bingo card, Eric, you can. If you're on your phone, it should be right there under the video. There's a little bingo thing. And if you're not on your phone and you're on PC, there should be an overlay button somewhere on this side of the stream where you can click it and join the bingo. Okay, let's roll our segue. Yeah, it's called Stream Bounty, but it is bingo. It's what it is. Hypothetical segue. And let's go to this day in history.
This day in history was a day. It was known as August 6th. But even back in the day, we still called it August 6th. Let's go with. I gotta scroll down. Always starting at the bottom. As I say, scrolling up is so much easier. Why is scrolling up easier? Because nothing has to load as you're scrolling down, right? If you're scrolling down, you wait for that bottom of the page to load, and you're like. But if
it's easier to go to the past than to go to the future.
Right, so we start at the bottom. Although the famous birthdays is in the opposite order, so I also do that from the bottom, but it starts with the youngest first. 1809, English poet Alfred Lord Tennyson. Anyone for Tennyson? That was a British show. Alfred Lord Tennyson, often regarded as the chief representative of the Victorian age, in poetry was born in Somersby, Lincolnshire. Somersby. In 1809, happy birthday to all. Lord Tennyson. Alfred Tennyson. Bolivia declared its independence from Spain in this day in 1825, named after Simón Bolívar, one of the biggest heroes in South American history. 1890, convicted murderer William Kemlar became the first person executed by electric chair. He was put to death in Auburn State Prison, New York, and then he was put out because he started on fire. Yeah, electrocuting people. Yeah. Not a great way to put people to death. It doesn't always work either. Yeah. Let's do it for 10 minutes this time. Maybe I'll really be dead. I don't know. Fucking disgusting.
It's torture. It's really torture. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If you like that, you are a sick person. And 1926, Gertrude Ederle, at age 19 in New York, being the first woman to swim the English Channel, breaking the men's record by nearly 2 hours. Of course, women are better swimmers than
women are best.
Oh no! She better check to see if she has a penis. I don't know. 1940.
That's what they would say now. Yeah. Oh, you were to get at sports. You must be a man. That's the only option.
Yeah, if she would have swam in North Carolina, they would have been checking her at the shore. All right, let's see it. All right, 1940. Estonia lost its independence when the Soviet Union annexed the country, but it got it back, and they
got it back.
One of your money laundering countries now. 1965, U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act. Why do we need voting rights? Because the United States is a racist country which is completely full of shit when it says liberty. Which sought to overcome legal barriers at the state and local levels that prevented African Americans from exercising the right to vote. They did a thing like a grandfather law. Well, you can't vote unless your grandfather voted. My grandfather was a slave. Oh, well, you don't get to vote. Absolute horseshit laws which are being put in place to this very day. Then a sidebar to that, they're trying to make it illegal to vote unless you use your birth name. So, hey, women, guess what? If you got married and changed your name, you can't vote anymore. Imagine that. That's what the Republicans are trying to do to you. They're also trying to disenfranchise everybody else who's changed your name. There's a football player. It's kind of a good story, but it's also tragic. A football player for the Green Bay Packers, a right tackle. His name is Zach Tom. His birth name was Zach Tom. He just recently, he's from New Orleans. For him, that's very unfortunate because that's one of those states that is not going to let him vote. He's changed his name. He's changed his name to honor his African ancestors, and he's not going to vote this year because he lives in Louisiana. It doesn't matter what he does. His birth certificate is not going to match his driver's license. So I would suggest he changes it. I would suggest he changes his name legally after he votes. Thank you. Anyway. 1990, the UN Security Council imposed economic sanctions on Iraq, ruled by Saddam Hussein for his invasion of Kuwait 4 days earlier. It didn't really work. We had to start a war because George Bush said, hey, you got oil. Kuwait has oil. We need oil so my rich friends can get richer. That's all that was about. It was all about oil. It was about nothing else. Not about human rights, not about weapons of mass destruction, because if it was about that, we wouldn't have looked the other way when Saddam Hussein used chemical weapons against the Kurds in the 1980s. And I remember this. We were all on his side then. Hey, look, Saddam Hussein is killing his own citizens because they don't like him. And the United States said, yeah, but he's fighting Iran, so he's our guy. Yeah. And then a few years later, we're at war with the same guy. And if you're 10 years after that, we're at war with the same guy again. The United States fucking things up since fucking things up was invented. 1996, at the Palace in Los Angeles, the hugely influential punk rock band, the Ramones, played their last concert in 1996. I think Joey Ramone was gone by then. I don't know. 1996, Ramones broke up. They're basically 20 years. They rounded up. And we don't know who invented punk rock, and I no longer care who invented punk rock. The British keep insisting they invented it in 1976, even though, Iggy and the Stooges existed, the Kinks existed, the Who existed, But, punk rock was not invented in 1996. Or I guess you can call the Who and the Kinks proto-punk, or you can call Iggy and the Stooges proto-punk, but stop claiming that somebody invented this. It just happened, okay? 2012, NASA's robotic...
You just invented fucking up. Well, I guess you didn't say anyone invented fucking up.
No, the United States invented fucking up.
Oh, okay. 300 years ago.
Fucking up is let me sum up fucking up as my definition. It's having good intentions and having... No. Fucking up to me is having good intentions and having no idea what the fuck you're doing, but you just plow on ahead with it, right? That's what's called fucking up. It's right, yeah. 2015, American comedian Jon Stewart turned tail like a big old coward and ran and hosted his last episode of The Daily Show just as Donald Trump was becoming a big deal. So 11 years ago, Jon Stewart powered out, ran away, went hid like a big pussy. I can't believe you... Satiric news program became a leading forum for current events, especially politics. I'm saying he ran and hid. And then he came back. I think he just retired. Instead of hiring a permanent host. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure he just retired, and it wasn't anything to do with that.
He needs to run for office or shut the fuck up. That's what he needs to do. I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of his mouth talking shit and then running away. I'm saying the entire Trump administration, he was in hiding. What the hell's that about,
He wasn't, though. He had a podcast.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, where were you? I'm just saying.
Where was I? I'm not Jon Stewart. I didn't have an audience of millions and millions of people. Anyway,
The audience didn't go anywhere. Actually, I think they got more audience.
Take it on. We could have used Jon Stewart taking on the Trump administration. I don't
think that would have changed anything. But okay.
Trevor Noah is a worldly person with worldly opinions, and we needed somebody to take care of the fucking shit in our country, not about every other place in the world. Trevor Noah could have had a nice show right after the
anti-immigrant too.
He could have had a nice show right after Donald Trump, right after Jon Stewart show. He got a nice show right after Colbert went on the host. Don't forget, Colbert went on the host the David Letterman show. So they could have just put Trevor Noah after him. Would have been fine. To me, Jon Stewart betrayed everybody. That's the way I see it. And what's he doing on one day a week?
It sounds like. I was happy a younger person took over the show.
I got the same opinion about Rachel Maddow. Where did Rachel Maddow go when we needed her most? She started writing a book. She went and started writing a book, and it was down to 1 day a week on MSNBC, Monday, and that's it. Same as Jon Stewart, 1 day a week, and then what the hell is she doing the rest of the time? You know, I'm just saying. The number one reporter on MSNBC just made herself disappear during the Trump administration. That's what she did. I'm sorry, that's what she did. Anyway, back to this day in history. I'm really off the topic. 1806, Francis II dissolves the Holy Roman Empire. About damn time. And this day in 1806, Emperor Francis II of Austria dissolved the Holy Roman Empire after more than a millennium of history. Weakened by the French Revolution and Napoleon's military victories, the empire could no longer survive. Thank you, Napoleon. If you think Napoleon was all bad, at least he did that. Rather than allow Napoleon to claim an imperial title, Francis abdicated as Holy Roman Emperor, ending one of Europe's longest-lasting political institutions. Yeah, that's true. Reading comprehension doesn't exist in America. Atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima on this day. The United States dropped an atomic bomb in Hiroshima. The blast killed more than 70,000 people instantly and destroyed most of the city.
And most of them were civilians. They didn't drop it on a military installation, did they?
Yeah, they didn't exactly have accuracy. They just dropped it and got the hell out of Dodge before they got the shockwave, right? You know, planes get that shockwave and eventually goes in every direction. So, yeah, you don't stick around to wait and see if you target it. So, again, the end of the war. There's a big debate about it. It will never end. Feature biography is Diego Velázquez, the most important Spanish painter of the 1600s. Of course, that's Britannica's opinion, whose brilliant diversity of brushstrokes and subtle harmonies of color made him a forerunner of 19th century French Impressionism. Oh, you're saying the French copied the Spanish? Don't say that out loud. A National Day calendar, National Social Engineering Day, which is what the government does all. Oh yeah, famous birthdays. You're right, famous birthdays. Scrolling to the bottom because I was too busy doing other things earlier. Let's go to people I recognize. There's a lot of them I don't recognize. Musician Jerry Halliwell, our Spice Girl, is turning 72. She's aged 54.
Damn.
Filmmaker M. Night Shyamalan, the guy who made The Sixth Sense and tried to make what was the one he made? The Avatar movie, right?
M. Night Shyamalan? Yeah, The Last Airbender, yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan, who made a great movie called
or whatever. Yeah.
He's probably made some good movies since then, but I don't know him. Age 57, he's turned 56 today. Turning 57, he's 56. Basketball Hall of Famer David Robinson, 1965. He's age 61. You know, David Robinson, he was 7'2" and he was in the Navy. So the Trump excuse for Barron not joining the military, he's too tall, he's 6'5". And we're like, David Robinson was in the Navy at 7'2". And the Navy, you can't fit in any ship if you're 7'2". There is no vehicle the Navy makes that will accommodate a 7'2" human being. None, zero. But he joined the Navy. He sure did, and he was an officer. Actor Michelle Yeoh, born in 1962. Musician Randy DeBarge of the group DeBarge, I would imagine, born in 58. He's turning 68. Actor Catherine Hicks turning 75. Writer Piers Anthony turning 92. Andy Warhol's 98th birthday. The guy who invented the weird pop culture thing called painting Campbell's soup cans over and over again, and then doing the same with Marilyn Monroe and different things. And Andy Warhol, pop artist, turning 98 today. Actor Robert Mitchum was one of those people that was blackballed during the communist scare. He was born in 1917. And Lucille Ball, speaking of communists, he was an admitted communist, and she was grilled by Congress and never faced any punishment whatsoever. So there was two sides to that coin. She was way too popular for anybody to blacklist her, I guess. And here's a picture of Ronnie Reagan shaking her hand because, yeah, we don't. Lucy, she's Lucy. Anywho, Basketball Hall of Fame member Hank Iba, basketball coach, born in 1904. I think he was a pretty good player too. U.S. First Lady Edith Roosevelt, the wife of Teddy Roosevelt, born in 1861. Scientist Alexander Fleming, born in 1881. And we already did Alfred Lord Tennyson, or Lord Alfred Tennyson, however you say that. National Day calendar, we have the following. National Root Beer Float Day. If you don't know what root beer float is, you take a root beer and you throw a scoop of ice cream in it. And you watch it foam up along the sides, and you just slurp it for about half a day until your brain freezes. National IPA Day, which is a beer that you make at home. National Wiggle the Toes Day, National Social Engineering Day, and National Fresh Breath Day. Let me make a prediction. If you drink an IPA, you will not have fresh breath. Maybe a little bit fresher with flood. But don't forget to wiggle your toes. I didn't hear that. For Thursday, August 6, 2026, on before root beer floats and I guess IPAs. Not just root beer float. IPA is not food. Root beer float is at least food.
But beer is made out of barley or whatever.
Fermented barley juice. Just have some of that fermented barley juice. It's harmless.
Eric said that they wrote an entire paper in college about Estonia and the other Baltic countries post-communism, UN Security Council, and the events of Rwanda, and also that the people who work at the nonprofit they work for were labeled communists during McCarthy.
Of course.
So there you go.
Yeah, if you were labeled a communist. Yeah, if you were labeled a communist by McCarthy, that's a badge of honor, actually, because if you don't know who Pete Seeger is, he actually went to jail. He wouldn't name anybody. He just went to jail. And if you watch that Bob Dylan movie, which a lot of people didn't like for some fucking reason, you have what's his name? I can't think of his name. He plays Pete Seeger. The guy who played the Pocahontas. I can't think of his name. Pete Seeger sings the song. He sings the song in the courtroom. It's so good. It's such a great scene. Anyway, he has the gallery sing along with this song, right? Mm-hmm. Love Pete Seeger. All right. Anyway,
International UN Observance today is International Day of Awareness of Special Development Needs and Challenge of Landlocked Developing Countries. Try to say that 10 times fast. There are countries out there which are on the border of other countries. They're landlocked. They can't get to the ocean. They maybe have a river. They maybe have a lake. And they have to rely on internal trade in order to get things in and get things out. So, if you're Ukraine, for example, getting attacked from the east, you can only go west. But also, the borders are closed because you're currently in active conflict, so you can't go west either. That's an example. So let's help those landlocked countries, especially developing countries, which need support in order to reach the same level of economic, cultural, societal, whatever support without the help of a giant dock or whatever, a giant port, a lot of these countries that are in developing countries, they get a lot of money in because they have a port. That's literally it. You know, we have a port, we have money. Now we can invest that in our infrastructure,
You
whatever.
can't have a port.
Landlocked countries can't do that.
You need a deep, deep channel to get to that port too.
Exactly. That's what ends up happening.
Yeah.
So,
Not easy
are the challenges of landlocked countries? Their infrastructure gaps, which I just talked about. The hidden cost of delays, as in you get food and everything later and sending them out later. Climate impacts it harder because, hey, if you're in a place that's already arid and now you don't even have water because it's evaporated away into the ocean.
This is why Putin's first move was to cut off Crimea, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, there's the water access. And of course, even e-commerce and digital services can be affected by geography because guess what? Because of the internet, we actually have to physically still connect to the internet. We don't just get it through magic. So if you can't build the infrastructure to connect yourself to the, the internet pipeline in the water, you're gonna have a tougher time. So there you go. There's all that's it.
I say it's magic. I say it's magic. It is magic. It's the only magic we have.
Radios, yeah. I could see that. Yeah. I mean, if you took somebody...
We call FM. That's what we call FM. Fucking magic. That's what we call it. That's what it is. It's fucking magic. It just started working. We don't know why. I'm not letting you in on any secrets here, but we really have no work.
Yeah, what's AM? What does that stand for?
Approximate magic. Not really magic. It has a lot of static.
Oh yeah, that's true.
A lot of noise, a lot of interference. It goes up to the ionosphere, it comes back down. There's a lot of interference in there. Yeah.
This has been Alison here from the Netherlands. Roger from
where it's supposed to go. It doesn't go up there. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. As we type another Thursday 13 list, let us know if there's any of these banks have scammed you and laundered your money, because that would be really fun to know about. And we will see you tomorrow for our Friday Snooze Dump, where we're going to tell you all the news you need to know for the weekend, so you don't doom scroll. Okay? Let us do the doom scrolling for you, and we will cover all of that. If you're not already following Before Coffee Podcast on Twitch or Before Coffee Podcast, and I should say Before Coffee Podcast on YouTube, please do that. Tell your family to follow us. Tell your pets to follow us. Tell your dementia grandmother to do it because she's not even gonna know. I'm just saying. It's a real thing people talk about, that if you don't have enough subscribers, you do not get pushed onto the algorithm on YouTube. They just don't even care about sharing you with people. It happens all the time. So the higher that number goes up, the more people can see our anti-AI news. So I appreciate everyone supporting us, especially our patrons on Patreon under the Before Coffee tier who are giving us monetary support. We appreciate that very much.
Go to one of those channels where we just rip on other people. That'll get us subscribers.
Yeah. Well, we kind of did that already. We ripped on banks.
I mean, just other YouTubers, or whatever.
Have you heard what happened yesterday? Yeah, that's true.
I blocked every channel.
We'll see you tomorrow for Friday's News Dump, and here is our mic drop moment.
Here's something you don't hear often. A rocket accidentally slammed into the moon.
Yeah, it happened, and Mark Strassman tells us...
I'm not coming for him. I like John Stewart. He quit at the wrong time. What the hell is that about?
SpaceX launched this Falcon 9 rocket into orbit early last year.
Separation confirmed.
No one expected its second stage would drift and keep drifting all the way to the moon's Earth-facing side.
Oh no, come back!
Yeah, we were
there early this morning
with
a
already
force of
happened
nearly 3
yesterday.
tons of TNT.
There's what it looks like.
So many times where events like this will occur. And
it could have been happening while I was looking at the moon, but we only had a half moon, so I couldn't really see the moon very well.
It's happened twice.
Yeah, it could have been a full moon, and you could have had a regular telescope. I guess you still wouldn't have seen it.
Like this one in 2013. But rarely do scientists have enough notice to study the impact of a man-made object in real time.
This is an animation.
NASA's intentional crash
Yeah, of
in
course.
2009
This is
confirmed
not
the
real
existence
footage.
of water
We would have
ice
had
in
to
the
have
moon's
the spaceship
craters.
already up there
The
to see
overnight
it.
explosion involved
You
a
know?
4-ton piece of
Yeah,
the
this is just
SpaceX rocket stage
a
slamming
stage
into
from
the
the
lunar
rocket that
surface
did not.
at 5,400 miles
separated
per
to
hour.
Wow.
The crater
That's
it
really
created
fast.
could be 100 feet wide and 16 feet deep.
Oh
Unintentional,
no. We're
although
going to finally
SpaceX
release that
says
rabbit
it
from the
followed
moon.
all appropriate rules and regulations.
What has happened is essentially
Yeah,
a
we don't
mixture
believe
of
it's
solar
SpaceX.
activity
We're
and gravity
thinking that you
forces
wanted to
have
try
put
this,
it
and
on
that's
a
what you did.
path towards the moon.
Around the world,
It
scientists
got hit
watched
by
intensely,
those solar rays and it
including
just
at
got
the Lowell
pushed off.
Discovery Telescope in Arizona.
Well, you know she's not
They're
lying
hoping to
because
pull
she's
apart
smiling.
more of what the moon is really made of.
Are moments like this
I think they did it
likely
on
to be a
purpose. That's
reminder?
It's made out of
that
cheese. We
don't know
finally
the moon
know.
all
Right.
at all.
Yeah,
Yes.
to me, that's
A bunch
very
of
much the
rope
larger
just
picture
came
here.
flying in my window yesterday.
SpaceX has
Amazing.
finally made it to the moon.
That's what that
However,
smell was.
accidentally.
It wasn't
Yeah.
somebody
I'm Mark
farting in the theater. It was the cheese
The
chunk
irony there,
falling
right?
into the
Moldy cheese.
Well, glad that they were
Some
able to
moldy
track it.
cheese
They
from the
knew that
moon.
it was going to happen.
And something good's going to come out of it.
Lunar Limburger.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.